Always great to talk to Bill PIDTO, MSG Network's host. Bill, great to see you. How you been?
Good. How are you? Summer is off and running here, and it's going to be an interesting year for sure next year. Can't wait. Really going to be very, very excited to see how this all turns out.
Most definitely. We obviously heard from Mikal Bridges at the MSG training facility. We brought back OG Anunoby, Jalen Brunson extension early. How have you seen this offseason so far in your eyes?
Well, Bridges seems like a perfect fit. When you listen to him the other day, he's Villanova Central casting, understated, upbeat, high character, hasn't missed a game. Remember, 474 straight games. It's the longest active current streak in the NBA. He's going to be, we all think, a perfect fit with DiVincenzo, Brunson, and Hart. The one question right now is what happens at the center position, of course, because you got Mitchell Robinson coming back off of 2 surgeries off that left ankle. Hartenstein, as you mentioned, went to OKC. So it would seem at this point that the Knicks may need to add a piece or two up front. And a lot of the available players have already signed. So that's one thing that is going to be interesting to see how this unfolds. Precious Achiuwa is still available. The way the Knicks finalized the Bridges trade, they still have room under the cap to potentially re-sign Achua and add someone else in the $5 million range. So they have some flexibility. We'll see how that all pans out. And as to Brunson, the money is such that I think it's $39 million a year. I mean, we're talking about a huge difference. Now it helps the Knicks cap situation. And maybe at that level of compensation, it doesn't make any difference if you're making 39 million or 52 million. I wish I had that problem.
Likewise, but it would help the Knicks out a lot, and look, it would mean a lot for his, team building, the legacy, of course, for Villanova guys. I mean, did you ever think that this was possible or was ever going to happen?
Bridges talked the other day. He didn't think he was going to be traded. They didn't tell him. He didn't ask to be traded. Josh Hart always joked with him about, hey, why don't you come to the Knicks? But I don't think anybody really thought it was going to happen. And we've all been wondering about how the Knicks are going to use all these draft picks. They've been holding these picks for the right opportunity. They obviously feel from a chemistry and character point that Bridges is a perfect fit. He's like Anunoby in that he's an elite defender and also can knock down the open shot and maybe better than he was in terms of a fit because with the Nets, he had to be the number one option. And with the Knicks, he can kind of fit in and play in the flow. The one thing I would think about, and I don't know if you have, with Anunoby and Bridges being such elite defenders, might Randall play some five? Maybe they could put Anunoby or Bridges on the other team's five, have Randall play up in that position as well. Maybe they go small. Now, Tibbs always talks about how important rim protection is, but he also in the past hasn't had two elite defenders like Anunoby and Bridges. I mean, Anunoby was great against Embiid against Philadelphia. So maybe the Knicks are going to start going a little bit smaller. We'll have to see.
Yeah, you mentioned Tibbs, Bill. He loves the rebounding, though. And if you do have lineups of Randall with Josh Hart out there, that can get you the rebounding if you do have bigs, and the Knicks can go that luxury. Obviously, there's a little bit more floor spacing, so absolutely have thought about it. Where we sit, obviously, Mitchie is the starting five. Sims still on the roster. They drafted a rookie, signed him to a two-way, Huck Porty, who I've seen live, and I've scouted him. Look forward to his future. Coming into Summer League, we'll talk about Summer League in a minute. But, I mean, whether Precious comes back or not, there's a need for another big. Do you feel like it's going to be someone, to compete with Mitch for the starting spot? Do you think they're comfortable with Mitchie starting and just bringing in a backup? Any names out there still on the market that you
No,
think would be a good fit?
I think everybody's. Paul Reed just got picked up by the Pistons, for heaven's sakes. I mean, it's like there's nobody left. Plumlee signed somewhere. Mo Wagner stayed put. Drummond's in Philadelphia. I don't know. I wonder if the Brunson extension going forward, because it kicks in next year, may be tied to what the Knicks end up doing with Achua. I don't know, but it would be maybe they have something worked out with Achua and they're just waiting for the chips to fall to finalize it.
Yeah, it does look like trade is probably the best avenue moving forward. There was reported interest in a Walker Kessler. and some other names out there in Utah. But Danny Ainge, dealing with him in prior instances has proven to be challenging. We'll see if Leon can get something done with that way. But Walker Kessler would be a pretty good fit, I think, for this ball club.
Yeah, I agree. The thing is, I don't think you want to part with McBride because right now the bench. I don't know about this kid from Marquette. I'm not really up. I think a lot of people think he might be a contributor. Cotel, right? From Marquette, uh,
Kolek.
Kolek, yeah, Tyler Kolek, right? Um, I think they think he might be able to help down the line. But right now, the bench as we sit here is DiVincenzo, Hart, McBride, and a big who we don't know. So I think that they need to do something because Hart and Devo obviously are not going to help you at the five position, and they're so high on McBride that I don't think that they would want to part with McBride in a Kessler deal, which is I think what they would have to do.
Yeah, I've thought about that. I would rather keep Deuce. Good pickup from Brooklyn getting in Keita Bates-Diop, a veteran who Tibbs drafted when he was with Minnesota. He's 28 and can play the four some as well. But we look forward to Summer League, Bill. We've got Pacome Dadier, Kolek, like you said, McCullough, Huck Porty, the centre, Rokas Jokubaitis, a drafted rookie back in 2021. This is going to be the most exciting Summer League squad in a minute. What are you looking forward to seeing from these rooks?
Do you? I don't. To be honest with you, I watched Summer League when they got Knox, and I really haven't watched Summer League since. I don't. And Knox was great in Summer League. I don't think Summer League is predictive of what's going to happen. So I may glance a little bit, but I'm not going to watch it that closely to be brutally honest with you.
Yeah, look, a lot of fans were glued with those lottery rookies, Knox, Porzingis, RJ. But look, from a fan perspective, I mean, the fan base that I've been talking to, most people are very excited, to see these guys come in. Look, the East, what have you seen around with the East and Philly making their moves for Paul George? Do you feel like the Knicks coming into the season are the best challenge to Boston?
Well, we'll see about health, and I know that's kind of a cop out. But when you look at what happened last year with all these injuries, and we all know what happened with the Knicks, and Embiid was banged up, and Paul George is coming, and he doesn't always play all the time. It's all, and KP is going to miss the early part of the season. It all comes down to who's the most healthy. But if everybody's all healthy, I think the Knicks can absolutely give it a run. No question. I don't know if they can beat Boston, but I think they can. That matchup against Philadelphia could be epic. And you also got to look at Indiana now after a great year. Obi's back at 15 million a year. Congrats to him. Who saw that coming? He's been a great fit there. Orlando's improving. They got KCP, right? Signed him. They should be better with him. They re-signed the Wagner brothers. A lot of good teams, a lot of good teams. But if the Knicks stay healthy, I think they can be right there and contend. They're as good as anybody, and I think they absolutely can give Boston a run for their money next year.
You see, you go for the second seed, and I want to ask your opinion on Tibbs at the moment, who, by reports, could be expecting an extension this offseason, would be deserved. And the Knicks bill, they push for every single win in the regular season under Tibbs. He gets them fired up. And if they can secure the second seed, you avoid Boston in the second round, and you might be facing Philly again. So that would be the Knicks' best avenue.
Yeah, and don't forget about Milwaukee. I know Middleton is always banged up, but if Middleton stays healthy and Lillard and Giannis can figure it out, that's another team that you have to watch. And you mentioned Tibbs. Just done a fantastic job here in 4 years. Made the playoffs 3 times, gotten out of the first round the last 2 years in a row. 6 games last year losing to the Heat. This most recent year, 7 games in the second round losing to the Pacers. This franchise has never been this consistent. Not on two and a half decades, 2 decades. Tibbs has been a perfect fit. He's got the guys that he likes. They play no load management. They give their all every single night. It's a really fun team to root for, and a lot of that has to do because of the example that Tom Tibbs Thibodeau is able to set and to prepare his team for maximum effort on a nightly basis.
Yeah, well, these guys love playing for him, Bill. There's been a lot made. You heard Mikhal's quotes on the day. He's looking forward to playing more minutes, and how Monty rode him in Phoenix. But also OG Anunoby returns. And, that says a lot because these guys want to run it back. They've got unfinished business. How do you see those two defensive wings under Tibbs?
It can be fantastic. Ananobi was fantastic. A lot of the things that Ananobi does don't always show up in the box score. The issue is with him has been health. Not only as a Knick, but when he was with the Raptors. But the Knicks had to bring him back. He could not trade RJ and quickly and then lose OG in free agency. And how about the deal that Quickly got? Quickly's making $35 million a year, which is like $15 million per year more than I think the Knicks offered him. So Quickly turned out to make a good decision. 30 man, that's unbelievable. Now they can afford all these contracts because the salary cap's going up with the new TV deal that's about to kick in after next year. So people have to understand, how can these players make all this money? Well, it's determined by a percentage of the cap. So that's why you see this really taking off. I think it's what $7.6 billion or something, or I don't what billions of dollars. Let's just say coming in starting the year after this one with Amazon, ESPN, and NBC.
Yep, and August, Bill, Julius Randle will be extension eligible too. There's been a little bit going around about, the future of Julius Randle with the club. Obviously, he's been one of the longest tenured Knicks and been successful here. It'll be very interesting to see what happens in August. Obviously, he missed a big bulk of last season. Looks and sounds to be very healthy coming in now. We'll see if an extension, gets done in August because going into that final year, you know, yeah, but for both sides, clarity would be great.
Yeah, we'll see. I think the Brunson thing comes first here. We'll see if Brunson extends. Remember, if these guys do it now, it's for less. So that's what that you have to keep in mind when you look at this. I would think, and I don't know for sure, but I think the Knicks want to see how the whole group works together before they make any moves in terms of Randall specifically. How's he going to fit in with these guys? The other thing to think about is Hart and DiVincenzo proved themselves as starters after being acquired to come off the bench. Grimes, remember, was the starter last year. DiVincenzo beat him out. And then Hart got the start when Randall got hurt in January. Now Hart and DiVincenzo go back to their bench roles, and you wonder how that's going to evolve because both really prove that they are very effective as starters. So that's another thing. It's all about chemistry and fit. So all of these things, we'll see how they fit together, and how they fit together will determine what happens with Randall, I think.
Yeah, I mean, fans are eager to see it all now put together, all the pieces. DiVincenzo breaking 3-point shooting records. Mikal now here to space the floor out, and yeah, Randall is just going to make the team that much stronger as well. But look, it'll be tough for DiVincenzo. If he does lose a starting spot, but he'll get plenty of minutes moving forward. My prediction is 55, 56 wins if things go right. Could you see that happening? Do you think the Knicks could touch 60?
Most important to me is getting out of the second round of the playoffs. So if they win 49 games, 48, one thing we've learned here is health is the most crucial component. Be healthy, get into the playoffs, above the play-in, and see how it goes. Obviously don't want to be in the play-in. I think they're a virtual lock to avoid that and get a top 6 spot, and then see how it goes.
Yeah, perfect answer. It's all about the postseason. And what have you got coming for Summer League, Bill? Are you going to be, part of the coverage with MSG?
We actually don't do the summer league anymore because I think ESPN has the games. I actually KP's first summer I went to Vegas, and I did an interview with KP, and I almost had to use a step ladder to get the mic up to his mouth. I'm like 5'8" on a good day, and he's like what 7'3". I mean, it was just hilarious, hilarious. But
Well, there's a Zach Eady who's 7'5" now.
right,
So
right. So I that was the one time I went. We don't go anymore.
yeah, well, we'll be glued to the TV. And as always, Bill, it's a pleasure to talk. And I'm excited for the season coming up. And I know you guys will be doing outstanding coverage like always. And yeah, the fan base, you could feel it in the air. The excitement in New York City, I'm sure, is higher than it's been for a while now with Mikal Bridges, OG here. and let's see how Leon Rose will complete the roster.
Yeah, well, great to be with you. Let's talk when the regular season gets ready to kick off in October. Stay warm because we're really warm back here in the U.S. So I hope you stay warm there in Australia during the winter here.
Yeah, appreciate it. And I know Vegas is sweltering right
Yeah.
now, especially. So good luck to the team. And yeah, we'll talk soon, Bill.
All right.
Appreciate you.